Je t'aime français. That's that's what I got. I'm John Stark from ActionMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. Who my Duolingo score on French is really low. I'm still learning like really basic words, like uh, you know, like boy and girl and stuff. So yeah, I couldn't use any of that on this film. So la femme, uh, garçon, stuff like that. That's where I'm at. So it didn't help me at all with Private Life, which is Jodie Foster's foray into French cinema, almost entirely in French. Like this film for her is like 97% in French, and the stark contrast here is between I'm so happy to review this. Thank you, Sony Pictures Classics. Crushing the game over here with audio description and giving me screeners with audio description, by the way. This movie has audio description from Media Access Group. It's narrated by Peter J. Cock. There's another narrator that didn't get credited who also helps provide um, some of the dubbing for the. It's not dubbing like traditional. It's just the reading of the when you're blind, you can't read the subtitles, which is like a huge barrier for me with international cinema. So I appreciate the films that actually bother to do this. And I battle with the studios that say that they can't do this. So um, next year I would like it if Neon could just not pick up any international films and Sony Pictures Classics could pick up all of them, because here we have a film that is like 97% in French, save one scene with Jodie Foster and another guy. And they put audio description on it. And I think about Sentimental Value, which has no audio description. It has like Elle Fanning and Stellan Skarsgård, who have done enough English language movies that would have warranted it. And like the movie's half in English anyway, thanks to Elle Fanning, who definitely does not speak Norwegian. So I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I liked this. This is charming. This is not French's submission. This is just a film that exists. It's been thrown out there into the world. I believe this premiered at Cannes this year and has kind of bounced around. I don't think the reception for it has been like, oh my God, did you see Jodie Foster's French movie? It's amazing. She didn't direct it, she only stars. So it's not one of those things like Woody Allen directing uh, whatever that movie was that he did that I've already forgotten because it just was not that important. Um, yeah, no, this is Jodie Foster proving that she can act in a complete other language, like 100%. And so here she plays a a therapist, like a psychiatrist, who one of her patients dies, and she ends up sort of going down this rabbit hole of mystery and intrigue behind the death of this patient, because her patient wasn't like coming to her with like suicidal thoughts. She wasn't dying of anything, but yet lo and behold, she just kind of ended up dead. She was having some trouble sleeping and just kind of just general like life problems, just basic therapy. And so she worries about it. She gets a little bit involved in Jewish traditions and faith and learns a little bit about what a dybbuk is, which kind of reverberates throughout the course of the film. And we get into like hypnosis and things that can be uncovered through hypnosis, that memories that we may have buried, things that you can get in touch with when you're having been hypnotized. And Foster just kind of goes down this, it's kind of like a little bit of a quirky um mystery. It's the kind of thing that you might see like a lighthearted uh murder mystery type film anywhere else. Like it just follows, I can't think of an exact, but there's so many films like this, which is really sad because like um honestly, like the closest thing I can think of right now are like these TV shows that we keep getting, like Elizabeth and Matlock, right? Where the main protagonist is a little bit quirky and you have to solve the case by the end. It's sort of like a feature-length version of that. She feels like, perhaps, there's some interesting parts here that get brought out in the audio description to make sure that we know, it's French. It's decidedly French. They love to fondle breasts. That is a thing, and it's an odd thing the audio description picks up on is that sometimes, somebody will just be talking and, like, Jodie Foster's talking with her ex-husband, who just, like, kinda just reaches out and just starts, cupping her breast through the through the shirt and fondling it and playing with the nipple, you know what I'm saying? Like, just on the outside. And they're just talking. It's like, "Ugh, boob." Um, so, uh, and there's another guy that also just it's mentioned that he kinda just goes straight for the breast. I'm like, "The French, they love the boobs." So I this is not gonna win the Oscar for anything, but, I liked it. I mean, I don't have very many international films to watch every year, and, at least this was charming and interesting. I would have hated the fact if, like, one of the, I don't know, 5 international films that's gonna get audio description this year was just like, "Oh god, this was hot garbage." But, no, this was fine. I can see why, A, France didn't select this for their submission, and B, why it's not picking up a lot of award steam. Because I think it's just kind of like a typical movie. This feels like the kind of thing that France would release, as we would, I don't know, any other movie, and the only reason why it's getting any sort of awards play at all is because of Jodie Foster. And maybe people being like, "Oh my god, Jodie Foster can do French? Wow." But I'd be more interested to see on their end how she gets praised and lauded, because really, like, for us, it's hard to gauge whether or not it's a great French performance if you're not fluent in French. So somebody in that language would have to go, "Oh yeah." Sort of like with us when you hear somebody who's doing like an American accent, but it's obviously not, and you're like, well, you obviously are not American. I can hear it. Your accent is weak. Weak sauce. So how, is that what it sounds like for French people watching Private Life? So, um, and my review, I guess, is now accessible. I got that email from YouTube a while ago that auto dubbing will be able to be enabled, so somebody can listen to me do this in French now. I don't know. Oui, oui. But it's it's a quirky. It lays mostly on the drama side, but it does have quirks to it. So it's almost like an Agatha Christie. It's almost like a Poirot type of thing, but it doesn't take itself ever that serious. Like some of Poirot's stuff goes, especially the stuff that Brana has been doing, is a lot more serious. But he does have some levity to him as a character in his sort of wit and retorts and stuff like that. So it's not the darkest film ever. Not the darkest, like Luther is kind of this like dark, depressing character, right? This like everything that happens on Luther is like, oh my God. Oh shit. But no, this is I hate to say that like something like Elizabeth is like the best comparison that I could think of, but if like Elizabeth was a therapist instead, so Monk, I guess, if Monk was a woman, I don't know, things like that. So, uh, I kind of enjoyed the journey that it went on, and I kind of like the ending. I like the relationships in between. I like the fact that Jodie Foster really only does this one scene. She talks to one character in English, and the rest of the film is so it's not like a film where she's trying to struggle to get French out. Her performance relies almost entirely on French, on her ability to get through it. instead of it being this thing where she's like, like an American in France who can kind of speak French and speaks enough French that everybody else around her is speaking French, and this qualifies it as an international film. And they're like, well, we can have Jodie Foster because she has some passing knowledge of French, right? She's got to have solid knowledge of French in order to be able to make it through this. So, yeah, if you get a chance to see it, check it out. I think based on what I know, the only possible contender now for international feature of the things I know that have audio description is No Other Choice for me for my pick for best international feature, because I've seen the others that have known audio description, and there's this and Nouvelle Vague, and one of those two could end up being my favorite if I don't get to ever see No Other Choice with audio description at some point. Uh, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The films that I got audio description for are the films that aren't even the ones being submitted for the international Oscar. Uh, God. So, um, I'm gonna give Private Life, a Private Life, a 7.4 out of 10. I liked it. I yeah, it's not the greatest film I've ever seen in my life, but I thought it was fine. It was fun, and it's kind of quirky and it's interesting to see. This is a French film. I'm so curious how the French see this film, and I think it matters a little bit more how they see it. But I think it's worth your time. So if you get a chance to check out A Private Life, please do. In the meantime, first of all, just please check out all international films that have audio description, just in general, so that we can get more of them. Whether you want to or not, just be like, if they come to your streaming service and you have a chance to see like something like A Private Life, just can run it in the background and then go do some ironing or something, so we can create a metric that shows, oh, blind people like hot international films, because then it may end up on something that you actually are really excited about. But yeah, you have to create a metric for it to get people excited and be like, wow, blind people watch a lot of international shit. Maybe we should put more audio description on it. Yup. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. That's what I got. And I will see you guys on the other side. I turn off my camera awkwardly because I broke my remote.